My name is Marc Gottlieb. Welcome to the Grindcast. There we go.
There he is.
Hey,
There we are.
I immediately am looking at the posters behind you. I'm like, what's that? Hercules? I'm like,
I've got
Gates
Orca,
of Hell. Gates of Hell.
Gates of Hell, Orca. I've got Halloween, Tyler Stout up there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Those are great. Orca, God, what a movie.
I love that
Right
movie.
when I start the camera, my fucking dog starts barking. I give me 1 second.
Go ahead, man. It's all good.
Mark, this is my my partner, editor, producer, Stevie, and he edited Masters of the Grind. And I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, I remember Stevie. You and I met once or twice, I think.
Oh yeah, different screenings, different places. I cut
That's
all my
right.
hair off. I cut off like 25 inches of my hair.
Oh, yes, it was longer when I saw you last. I do remember that.
Yeah, when COVID hit, I didn't cut it for like 4 years. So I'm like, I'm just gonna let it grow.
Yeah, I tried that, but it didn't work. It was just it didn't fit. So I was like, all right. My girlfriend Amber was she tried trimming it a little bit, and then yeah, I think
I was trying to bring the 70s back.
Yeah, listen, man, I'm with you right there. It's a great idea. I love it.
What does Grindhouse mean to you?
Well, I'll tell you, I feel like it's distilling the essence of filmmaking to its core. I feel like it's like just going out and doing it. You're going out there and you're making this movie. You're going out there, and you're not letting anything stop you at all. Good example, the reason I thought this is we saw Bill Lustig a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weekends ago, at Maniac Cop, talking about shooting Maniac in New York. He's like, those days are over, man. You can't just go in there, you go out there in the middle of the night with a loaded shotgun and blast into a car window with trains going by, and I feel like that really encapsulates the whole vibe of what the Grindhouse experience is. I mean, it's about pushing the envelope. I mean, when you go to see a Grindhouse movie, you know what to expect because you don't know what to expect. It's like, how far can they take this story, and how over the top will it get? How much does it push the envelope? It's obviously the filmmaker. You get a sense of who is made the film, and you kind of get a sense of what they're trying to say and what they're going to portray in the picture. But it's the essence of filmmaking, and it's absolutely the most fun you can have at a theater.
That's for sure. And you're one of the OG, New Beverly patrons. Do you happen to remember your first double bill or even single feature by chance?
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been going to the Bev. I mean, I've been going for a long time, more than 20 years. So I don't know exactly what the very first double feature was. I do remember when I moved here in '96. I found the Bev, and I had started going there pretty quickly after I moved here. So that's 97. Yeah, it's probably late 96, early 97. I can't possibly remember what the first double bill was. But I do remember some that I absolutely remember, some of the greatest nights there that I had. Some of the best double bills, especially a lot of the Grindhouse.
How about that? Remember one of your first Grindhouse nights?
As for first, I don't recall, but I do remember some of the best ones. I mean, the ones that popped into mind off the top of my head: the Mausoleum Demons Night with Bobby Brzee. I think she was there.
Yeah, she brought posters.
Yes, that she signed.
Centerfold.
Yes.
And she still looked pretty, and I guess there's some weird the mafia funded that film or something. There's some weird thing about, but yeah, that was a fun night. My first Grindhouse was Pieces and Nightmare in a Damaged Brain, and I was just like, oh my God, I found my church.
Yeah.
Where's this been all my life? I'd seen I guess, exploitation stuff. That's one of the things we'll get into later, but I was lucky to see like Bronx Warriors,
Yeah.
Castellari, like at the Melody Theater when I was a kid, not knowing it was exploitation, but this was definitely different than whatever.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, there were some nights there. I mean, I remember the Grindhouse Christmas nights where it was Black Christmas, and I remember going in 2006, maybe. Olivia Hussey was there, Bob Clark was there, and they showed Silent Night. I don't think it was even Deadly Night. I think it was Bloody Night. I think it was Silent Night, Bloody Night. I remember going to that, and I think the year after that, or 2 years after that, I think it was John Saxon was there doing an intro before Black Christmas, and I think that was Silent Night, Deadly Night after that. But one of the this was what's great about the Bev and those Grindhouse nights. They would show something I'd never heard of or wasn't aware of, and then they would show it paired with something that I loved. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for that movie, but I'll stay for the other one. So you brought up Pieces. I remember seeing Pieces in The House That Screamed, and I'd never seen House That Screamed. I'd never even heard of it, and it was awesome.
In the house that screamed, the venomous seed of tormented desire grows to a nightmare of unspeakable horror.
I must run this establishment with a firm pen. Everything seems very strange, madame. 5 girls have disappeared in less than 4 months. We've never heard from any of these girls again.
5 have died. Who will be the 6th? The House That Screamed, rated GP.
I absolutely fell in love with The House That Screamed, and I get why there was a connection with the two movies showing the same night. But yeah, Pieces and House That Screamed was an awesome double bill.
What Brian and Eric brought to the table was just so mind blowing. It was like just a lot of ballyhoo, and with the raffles and the porn.
Yeah, that's right.
You never know, and really cool other like Pam Grier dolls and stuff. Just autographs and cool one sheets and lobby cards and. Oh,
it was awesome, and they would get great guests. I mean, there's a one night that I regret missing. I can't believe I didn't go to this. It was what have you done to Solange and Torso, and I think Camille Keaton was there. And looking back on it now, I don't know what I was doing where I could have possibly been had to not gone to that. But yeah, I mean, all those nights were just populated by this vibe where you just knew you were in for something special, or you'd probably seen both movies 100 times. You were just, it's this comfort food, where you're just sitting there and you're like, I'm going to see 2 great flicks, 2 great Grindhouse movies that I absolutely love, and with a in a family atmosphere, and maybe you walk out with a cool prize at the end of the night because you got the right number of the raffle.
I like that there were people there, but it wasn't completely packed.
Right.
You could move around, and pre Tarantino, it was sort of like on the down low. And I don't know, do you remember like the homeless punk rock guy? He wore like a kilt.
Yes. And I used to see him up on Sunset Boulevard a lot too, at the Coffee Bean, drawing in his book.
Oh wow!
Because at the time I was living over on, I was living off of Sunset off Harrod, and I would see that guy walking up and down Sunset Boulevard occasionally, and hanging out at the Coffee Bean on right near I forget what the other name was, Larrabee or something. But yeah, I remember that guy. Absolutely remember that guy.
We drove him home. It was just the side. I don't know. It's near the Newark Theater, from the New Bev to around where the Newark Theater was, and he's like, "Just get me off here," and just. But yeah, he smelled so bad. But he got kicked out of the New Beverly for washing his balls in the sink that they like washed.
Oh God! And I don't think I'd ever heard that story.
And he actually smoked a bowl, like just a pipe, like just in the middle of a movie one time. And,
in the theater.
In the theater, yeah. He was the character.
The true Grindhouse experience.
Exactly. I mean, it's no more urine anymore.
Right.
Which brings us to the question: how do you think the new Beverly is different now post Sherman Torgan? And can you talk about some of the things you miss from the old days?
Well, obviously, there's a different. It's different now because I think it's gotten this popularity. It's obviously when Quentin now was the official owner of the place, that brought a lot of the. It brought a lot of the film fans, the film nerds who wanted to be there because they just wanted to go to the theater and see a movie in his theater. And then seeing his movies in his theater was also an appeal as well. What I miss, you know what I kind of dug a lot, and I kind of wish they would still do them, were the guest programmers. You'd have like Edgar Wright do The Right Stuff for 2 weeks. Patton Oswalt would do his, I think it was, I forget what his was called, but I mean, Eli Roth did a week or two occasionally.
Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I really enjoyed those.
Joe Dante.
Yes, that's right. I did go to a couple.
I think he did 2 of them.
Yeah, I think he did also, and I think I went to a couple of those.
Too.
Yeah, but I remember going to Edgar's because he would show 2 movies that you were like, how are these 2 even possibly connected? And then you'd see them, and then he'd do the Q&A, and he'd do a talk before and after, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that coming, but you're 100% right. And then he'd be like, everybody stay here, stay in your seats. We're going to show a 3rd movie. I remember seeing Evil Dead 2. I don't remember what the second film was, or maybe it was the second Evil Dead 2. I mean, the first one, Evil Dead 2 was second. But after that, he was like, everybody hang out for a minute. And he surprised everybody with showing Ricky O, Story of Ricky.
You just reminded me, I believe this is in this festival, he showed a double feature of Bugsy Malone and Phantom of the Paradise.
Yes.
And they fucking showed Ishtar as the surprise 3rd movie, and Tarantino sang the fucking ice cream song on stage. And I believe Paul Williams was there as well.
Paul Williams was there, and I didn't go, and I was so I was so bummed because I love Phantom of the Paradise. Absolutely love that movie, and I came late to loving that film. But Paul Williams is there, and then he was there for that, and but yeah, those nights were so much fun. Yeah, I think he showed The Driver, and I don't remember what the other one was, but like he had these really strange eclectic double features. That reminds me with Patton. Charlie Varick is playing at the Bev this week.
Exactly,
and I'd never seen that until Patton had showed it at his programming week, whatever that, many years ago that was. And I loved it. I was like, this is, how have I not seen this all my life?
Oh, it blew me away. I mean, it's like a whole nother, the Walter Matthau, like serious cop genre is a thing.
So great.
My buddy's like, because my buddy was just going to see Thunderbolt and Lightfoot last night. He's like, I'm going at 9:30, and I'm all, well, what's playing before? He's like, nothing. I'm all, no, what's and he goes, Charlie Varick. I'm like, dude, you got that's just as good as Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Absolutely.
You got to see it,
Yeah.
And he loves action. Who directed Charlie Varick?
Was it Don Siegel?
That's right. That's why it was so fucking good. There you go.
Oh yeah.
This is just totally out of nowhere. What's your favorite blaxploitation movie?
Right off the top of my head, Three the Hard Way, Black Caesar, and there's a movie called The Black Six, biker gang movie, where all the lead actors are all NFL players. And the reason I saw it is because I'm a big Steelers fan, and Mean Joe Green was one of the bikers in the movie. And I think they showed it. In fact, I think they showed it at the Bev with Black Gestapo. And Black Six has this awesome title song. It's on YouTube. You search on YouTube. It just kicks ass. And the movie opens with this fucking awesome song, title song, and they're riding these big ass choppers through like the back roads of wherever, and you're just saying, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fucking kick-ass movie.
The Black Six: Gene Washington, Carl Ellard, Lem Barney, Mercury Morris, Willie Lanier, Mean Joe Green. See The Black Six. waste 150 motorcycle dudes. Rated R.
I don't know.
I love that one. The blaxploitation movies that I like are like hybrids, because my favorite blaxploitation movie is also a rednexploitation movie, and it's Poor Pretty Eddie.
Oh, Poor Pretty Eddie, which I've never seen.
Oh man, you have to see
I
that.
had like two opportunities.
I saw it at the Cine Family.
Yeah.
And then I saw it at the New Bev when Lars and Zach did their thing, and
did the Alamo.
I think they showed Carnival Magic as well,
which I ended up seeing there. Was that the same night? Carnival Magic and Poor Pretty Eddie?
I think they've shown it a few times, but that movie's fucking nuts too.
Carnival Magic is nuts, and I've seen that, but I've never seen Poor Pretty Eddie. And I remember it playing at the Bev one time, and I was rolling up maybe for a midnight show, and I remember seeing you coming out, and you're like, "Dude, where were you? Poor Pretty Eddie was amazing." And I'm like,
"It's so good. It's got so many things. It's like, you know, those Grindhouse movies are like the perfect storm of this and that and whatever." And it's definitely nuts.
That's one I need to see, because you're like the second or third person who's told me, no, that one's definitely worth checking out. It's a rough one, but it's pretty great.
That's true. That's true. What would you say is your favorite rednexploitation movie?
I don't know if these count.
Okay.
But when I was a kid, one of my favorite movies of all time, and still is Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit is kind of one of the movies that I kind of look at as the reason why I wanted to become a filmmaker, because I'm a huge Hal Needham fan. And then I love, again, I may not be in the parameters of the genre, but I love The Great Texas Dynamite Chase. The Claudia Jennings one, where she and I forget the other girl's name, but they're going around Robert Banks with dynamite. And that movie just absolutely great. And but yeah, I think that's probably the two. Again, I don't know, do those count as redneck?
I think so. I saw this one, which brings, I almost forgot about this. I wanted to ask you about it. When Grindhouse was released in 2007, Tarantino did that preamble, try to explain to the public what Grindhouse is.
Yes, a full month of programming.
2 months.
Oh, that's right. It was 2 months.
2 months. Can you believe it? And I saw every single movie except for 2 double features.
I was there. Yeah, I was there almost every evening, because they show some things twice, 2 nights.
I missed the Girl from Starship Venus, and I missed fucking Slit This. I still to this day haven't seen Slit This, and I still. Oh no! I think I got a chance and I did see it, but I didn't get to see. It's called something like Dreams of a Winter Night.
Oh, Screams of a Winter Night.
Screams of a Winter Night. Yeah, I've heard that's really good and really bad. I don't know.
I've seen it.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a fan.
Oh no.
It's a very slow burn.
So out of the 80 movies, that was one that I could miss.
Yeah, and I had not seen Girl from Starship Venus. I'd heard of it. I think it's even got alternate title of Sex Odyssey 2069 or something like that. Wow. I may be wrong on that, but I think that's the other one. The alternate.
I wish I had the flyer here, but do you remember offhand like a double feature or triple feature that stood out in that 2 months?
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's so much.
Dark of the Sun with Rod Taylor and Jim Brown. Holy shit!
Hey, you want to come?
I'll be there.
Right.
That movie was awesome, and I'd never seen it. And
that was the one on the train, right?
The poster, yeah, the poster is Rod Taylor fighting the dude with a chainsaw, and it's the one where they're on the train. And they're supposed to go in and get the these hostages or refugees out of this country, but they're really going in to get these diamonds.
It was mind blowing.
It's so good. And Jack Cardiff, I think, directed it or shot it or both.
He might have. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but me and Kim were in the last row of the theater. It was fairly packed. And at the beginning of Dark of the Sun, maybe one of the first establishing shots where the train is going like this, so to speak.
Yeah.
What's her name? Zoe Bell? Is that the lady's name? In
Kill
Bill?
Yeah.
She's right in front of us, me and Kim, and she goes like this. With her fucking hands in the air like she's on a fucking ride. I almost punched her in the head.
Right.
I didn't, and I was just like, "What? That's the Grindhouse for you."
No, absolutely. That whole that programming that he did for those 2 months, man, they were just some incredible doubles. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I went to almost every one of those nights. I was there for a long time.
Yeah, well, there was the swinging cheerleaders with the swinging pussycats.
Right. I saw Pretty
Revenge
Maids
of the
All in a Row.
Cheerleaders.
Pretty Maids All in a Row for the first time.
Oh, that was great. I forgot what it played with though.
I do too. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second.
Do you have it?
Oh, do I have it here? I might have the.
I have it somewhere.
Oh man.
I have my New Beverly drawer.
No, damn it. Nope. I have a whole pile. I'm in my office and I'm kind of redoing it. So I've got stuff in piles and I have a bunch of old Bev calendars stacked up in one of the boxes here. I thought it might be in there. We could go through the lineup. But oh god, yeah, there were so many great kung fu flicks. Chinese Hercules, I think we saw.
Coonskin.
I don't think we didn't see Coonskin.
What's the one with something fighters? Like the claw.
I know what you're talking about, like Fearsome Fighters or something like that.
Yeah. Oh man, have you seen that fucking thing? It's amazing.
I think we did. Yeah.
That guy looks like Sabretooth in the X-Men. This one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On the poster.
Yeah.
A lot of kung fu. I think they did a double feature, triple feature. I don't remember. Feel like they did.
Oh.
Maybe not.
I don't recall. But I mean, and there was all the lead up to the movie opening.
Yeah,
and
they showed the movie there.
They showed the movie. It was like April 7th. It was like night before.
We were lucky to get in.
We got into that.
Harvey Weinstein's in there,
right? Yep.
And Fergie's husband, Josh Duhamel. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
everyone was there basically for that night. It was like a midnight show or something, wasn't it? Or a 10 o'clock show?
That's what I'm saying. There was a buzz, even though Tarantino hadn't taken over the theater yet. He had a presence there, but there was still more energy there for me then than there is now. They're more like stars. You'd be there, and like Charlize Theron showed up one night.
Yeah.
You know, and like randomly.
Yep. And, I think they had gone to. I think that night they did that screening. The premiere was at the Chinese. Or something like that, and then they had all come by, or a bunch of them come by afterwards.
Man,
from the Chinese to the screening at the Bev.
What's your favorite cheerleader movie?
I gotta tell you, probably for me, it's Cheerleader Camp, because it's a slasher / cheerleader movie.
Is that Bloody Pom Poms, aka?
I think so.
Does that have the chick from Ninja 3?
Yes, Cindy Dickey's in it. Terry Weigel, Betsy Russell, Leif Garrett is in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that movie's awesome. And I came to that one. I think it was I think I saw that for the first time during the pandemic. I think that was, but yeah. I'd never seen it, and I was like, okay, we'll watch this, and it was awesome.
That's pretty hard to beat. Did you see Revenge of the Cheerleaders when they showed it at the Tarantino thing?
I did not. I didn't see that.
That movie, you got to check it out. It's mainly more of like a little giddy comedy, but it's just loaded with TNA.
Yeah.
And David Hasselhoff's in it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You see way more of his junk than you want to see in your entire life.
Right.
And this whole like 20-30 minute sequence where the kids at the high school put acid in all the school lunches, and then it just happens that day that
that's great.
The people are visiting from like whatever the higher ups are visiting to check out the school.
Right.
And they're given some of the lunch, and the teachers start tripping out on acid. The students are tripping out on acid. People are just throwing spaghetti everywhere. The people in the bathrooms are mixing suds and spuds and stuff, and you see David Hasselhoff and his cock, and you're like, what the fuck?
That's great.
And then the poster's crazy too. There's dinosaurs on the poster. Like I remember being in front of the New Beverly.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this movie all about? There's but I think they go to that Cabazon, where.
Yeah. I think.
But on the poster you would think there's cheerleaders and fucking dinosaurs. It's not Tammy and the T-Rex. Quite yet.
Oh yeah. I've never seen that, but that sounds great. That sounds like a blast.
And Satan's Cheerleaders is very mellow, but
You know what? I have seen Satan's Cheerleaders a while back, long time back. I've seen Satan's Cheerleaders. That's a fun one too.
yeah, it's not very tawdry, but it's called Satan's Cheerleaders.
Yeah, how do you go wrong with it?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't go wrong.
What would you say is the craziest Grindhouse film you've ever seen? For me, it's Pieces or Porporieti or Burial Ground, something in that nature. That just Burial Ground, he was biting the mom's titty, and
Yeah.
Pieces, you're just.
I mean, listen, I
I've seen it all.
love Pieces. I mean, I've got the Pieces blanket right here. I fucking love Pieces. But I'll tell you, one of the crazier fucking movies, Grindhouse movies that I think I saw probably way too young. Extra's nuts.
That is
nuts. That one definitely stays up there with you. There are images in that movie that don't leave you. They don't leave your brain anytime soon.
That's true. When you said Extra, I was thinking of and then that made me think of Society.
Society's another one there's
stuff in that you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's good.
That's why when you say fucked up, I feel like Extra is, although Burial Ground does make a good case.
I haven't seen Extra in a while. I saw it for the first time late. I'd always seen the box cover when I was a kid, but saw it at the Silent Theater for one of their things.
Yep.
And don't remember everything, but I remember some crazy shit towards the end, and people just audibly going like, "What the?" Oh!
Yeah. I saw Extra. I rented Extra when I was a kid from the video store. We had this when I was living from Connecticut, and we had a video store in the town square, 3 miles from our house. So we get to go down there a lot. And I was into a lot of the horror. Obviously, I would rent a lot of stuff. My mom was pretty cool about letting me rent these things. She'd watch some of them with me. Sometimes she wouldn't. Didn't want to see what I rented. But I remember renting Extra and watching that at a very young age and just being baffled by what the fuck. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Wow. And then the Silent Movie Theater, I saw it when they played it, because I was like, I need to revisit this, because all I remember of it when I was, much younger. And it played like gangbusters with the crowd.
Wow.
The place went nuts. They loved it.
Yeah.
And I think everyone there had seen it. And those who hadn't seen it before were just we were all waiting to see what their reactions were, because we knew it was coming. And that's always a fun time, watching those kind of movies with unsuspecting viewers or patrons next to you who don't know what's coming. Oh, yeah. That's always a blast.
That's the best. That's the best. What would you say is the sort of, you might already answer it with Extra, but the first fucked up movie you watched on VHS, for me it was Galaxy of Terror. I was came late to a sleepover, and my buddies were like, you got to see this, and they rewound it to where the earthworm thing is raping the girl, which is was already totally the tracking was, people obviously have paused that so many times, but it was mind blowing. It was just as hardcore as any of the porn I found in my dad's office or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? It's an earthworm raping a chick, and it's still erotic. And I was like, what am I watching? Why is this so erotic and amazing, man? It was just it fucking changed my life.
Yeah. No, listen, I get it. When Chaz Ballin wrote the Gore Score and did the Deep Red magazines, I started following him, getting his books and his magazines, and I would see him at horror conventions. And so I would start, he's the guy that basically introduced me to Italian horror. And I would get the bootlegs on VHS, on tapes. So there was a whole thing where if I could get it at the video store in Wilton, Connecticut, it was I kind of knew what to expect. It was going to be some crazy horror stuff, but I think Extra was pushing the envelope there. But then I bought from him, because of his review in the Gore Score, Fulci's The Beyond. That's where I was like, wow, holy shit, what the hell is this? And I got hooked on Italian horror, man. I was buying stuff from him, I would see it in the magazine or this book, and I'd be like, okay, I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to get this. And that's how I discovered Suspiria. That's how I discovered most of the Italian horror stuff that I absolutely love today. And seeing those movies on these bootleg tapes, they were taken from Japanese VHS or then later Japanese Laserdisc, over time. but seeing some of that for the first time was mind blowing, and it was pretty like it stuck with me, and I was like, I got to watch more of this. I got to see more of this.
Woe be unto him who opens one of the 7 gateways to hell, because through that gateway evil will invade the world.
And now you get to see all this stuff restored and on 35 and various. I mean, I couldn't even believe that they showed, and you went Hellraiser 2 at the Academy the other day.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Oh yeah, and it was a great print. It looked great. Apparently it was Tony Randall's print.
Well, there you go.
It was his personal print.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because you grew up on the East Coast, did you happen to see anything like Final Days at 42nd Street? I was lucky to see Young Guns. My parents took me to New York, and at least it wasn't Grindhouse,
right?
But it's literally literally it was just me and my dad, and literally a bunch of people saying "Fuck 'em up, Billy!"
Right.
And I literally went to the bathroom, and it was like I went to an Iron Maiden concert years ago at the Forum, and it was just down the stairs. It was just like a foot of piss.
Yeah.
And it was just like so. I did it. I was there. You know, it was still Young Guns, but it was still like it was. I was scared. I was terrified to watch Young Guns.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no. I didn't. I was too young at the time, or too uneducated about that world when I might have had a chance. And then when I was old enough and recognized and appreciated it, and then I was living in New York when I was going to school. It was all gone. There were 1 or 2 theaters in the Times Square area that would show some kung fu stuff, like 4 or 5 movies, around the clock. But that was it. Now, the closest I ever got to that kind of experience was not in New York. It was here in LA. The Egyptian, not the main big room, but the one along the side where the Arena Theater or Arena Cine Lounge, whatever that was, that little theater on the side nowadays, or whenever, I don't know what it is now, but more recently. So Toxic Avenger Part 3 with, I was here in LA with my mom and my sister. We were taking a family vacation, and I'm like, "Ooh, let's go see Toxic Avenger 3." And my mom, she was understanding of these things. My sister couldn't have cared less about any of it, but that was quite an interesting experience, just to see that kind of, because it was an LA Hollywood Boulevard crowd seeing that movie at like this tiny little theater at like 10:30 at night, and that was a fun time. I mean, the Waverly in New York would do occasionally things like that, but at that point it was the 90s and it was all kind of over. Like Trauma would show some stuff at midnight, and they would have their little, they'd have like a premiere for something at the Waverly, so it would be a fun raucous crowd, but it wasn't like, I never felt like I was ever taking my life in my own hands to go to these movies in New York. The one in LA though, at that the Egyptian, that was an interesting evening. Nothing happened. It was just more like, where are we? What is this? This is a strange environment from a family from Connecticut who's now in, on Hollywood Boulevard in the middle of LA, and at 10:30 at night on a random whatever it was. So there's definitely a bit of a culture shock, but that was a fun experience. That was a fun time.
Did you happen to see? I feel like you did the Toxic Avenger remake, the latest one.
I never got to. I didn't see it. I know they played it at the. I think it was Beyond Fest showed it. I think, didn't they? Last year, 2 years ago or something. Maybe I'm confusing with something else. But I know there were also a couple of test screenings around town back then. Yeah. But I did not. I haven't seen it. I did not. I haven't got a chance to see it. I know some people who did see it.
Did they like it?
The reactions were mixed. But
did it get released?
Not that I know of.
Wow.
I have no idea. I don't know if they're like waiting for. Is there an anniversary coming up for it? Was that this year?
What are you gonna wait for? You got Peter Dinklage.
But the Toxic Avenger, the original, was this year, 84. Was it 40? It's 40 years, right? Whatever, 40 years.
I guess.
Something like that. So maybe they're waiting for that. I don't know, but I have not seen it.
I want to see it.
Yeah, so do I. I want to check it out.
What's the movie that made you want to be a filmmaker?
I mean, there are probably a bunch of them. I mean, when I was a kid, I really wanted to make action movies and horror movies. You know, I think a lot of people look back at, like, you know, their childhood, and, you know, okay, maybe Star Wars had some part of it. But I think beyond that, I think I was more into seeking out more strange kind of stuff. And especially once I got more into horror, then I was like really kind of like, you know, I remember I wanted to be a makeup effects artist when I was a kid. You know, my mom would buy me the the latex bottles, you kind of, you know, make molds and stuff like that. But, you know, over time I realized I think I wanted to be making the films themselves as opposed to just making the effects. So I don't know. I mean, I think, like, I guess again, Smoking the Bandit's probably a good example, because I loved those action movies, and I just loved that. I loved that vibe that Needham Reynolds movies had. You know, it was just this. It was like a fun party vibe. And Cannonball Run, absolutely loved Cannonball Run. Actually, now we're talking about Needham. Another night at the Bev.
Megaforce, baby.
From the director who brought you Smokey and the Bandit, Hooper, Cannonball Run, comes the ultimate spectacle. Megaforce, an elite compact fighting unit armed with the most sophisticated weapons ever seen on a movie screen. The mission, to preserve freedom and justice and battle the forces of evil.
The good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Megaforce.
Dude, how great was that night?
I thought I had the poster on the wall. I haven't framed it yet because I want to get Pete or Bostwick to sign it.
Oh,
I got Hal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had Hal. I had Hal signed it by Smoking the Bandit the day of, when we were there.
Nice.
But yeah, Megaforce and Hooper. That was a great, and his Q&A in between those two movies was one of the best Q&As I think I've ever seen at the Bev.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a whole combination of movies. I think that just the idea of putting these stories on screen and the things I could do on screen, that I was like, wow, I want to try that. I want to make that. I want to do that. So that's probably.
Did you go to film school?
I did. I went to School of Visual Arts in New York. I did 3 years there. And during my third year, my buddy and I, we co-wrote a movie. We thought we were going to make a short out of it, and it ballooned into a feature. So we ended up shooting the feature, and I learned more on that 4 or 5 months of filming it, and then learning about post-production, learning about, and we struck prints. This was, you know, and the movie got into the IFFM, the independent feature film market. So we had to strike a print for the market. And was the market, it was, I forget, it was IFP, IFM, something like that. But anyway, and so I learned about negative cutting. I learned that the hard way, because our negative cutter missed in the first and the fourth reels, missed like 3 frames, and reels 1 and 4 were out of sync. The day of the show, we find out, because we were running up against the tight schedule, and the guy was doing my post supervising. It was like, you know, okay, we're gonna do this and do that. I was learning as I was going, and I remember the morning of, we were going into the city for the slot to show the movie, and he's like, yeah, man, reels 1 and 4 out of sync, and we had to find out where and how. And it was like, because the movie opens and then it goes to black, and then the first scene comes up, and then the movie ends a similar way. And we were doing Super 16, we were doing digital video, and we were doing it all. We were mixing all these mediums, and in doing all that, the negative cutter missed like 5 frames of the front, 5 frames of the back or something, and reels 1 and 4 were out of sync. And I'll never forget that feeling of just my stomach just dropping out. I was just nauseous. And we had a great slot too. It was like I don't know exactly. I remember at the time it was like a 4-day market or a 5-day market or something, and I was like, we had this primo slot like 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something, and then we got rescheduled to like 1 o'clock that Sunday, which is when like everybody leaves. So it was kind of unfortunate, but I learned, like I said, a whole hell of a lot on making a film in those whatever months we did all that. But then I did in 3 years of going to classes, which I didn't go to as many classes as I probably should have, because I was too busy doing other things in the city, like going to movies and going to, other things that maybe I, kept me from getting up in the morning and going to my morning classes.
And now you're doing Ape versus Mecha Ape.
Yes, yeah. The latest one is Ape X Mecha Ape New World Order. It was a sequel to Ape versus Mecha Ape, which came out last year.
There we go.
Yes.
Can we expect a 3rd installment?
Possibly. We're the powers that be are interested in having a conversation about that, but we'll see where that goes.
I was gonna ask this question later, but where does your love for kaiju movies come from?
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, man, they would show them on Channel 9, WOR in New York, and they would show these like all-day marathons of these movies. And I would just sit there and I discovered them on Saturday afternoon television, and that was it, man. I was obsessed with them, and I've been obsessed with them ever since. I mean, yeah, Godzilla, King Kong. I mean, when I saw the 76 King Kong when I was a kid, I was blown away by it. I thought this was amazing. The Godzilla movies back then were amazing. Yeah, that's one of those early childhood things where it just stuck and got more intense as I got older.
Were you into the Shogun Warriors?
Yeah, yep. I had all those 12-inch or 14. Yeah, the big huge ones. There was the red one. There was a blue one. They made a Godzilla, so of course I had to have that one. I still have it somewhere back in Connecticut, I think.
Wow.
And of course it's missing the fist. It would shoot its fist out, and because they all shot projectiles, which was great.
Yeah.
Those days they don't do that so much anymore. But yeah, you could shoot its fists. Of course, I lost the fist, and it's probably all cracked and banged up because I played with it.
We had some great toys like Stretch Armstrong and all that stuff was insane.
Yep. And then didn't he have like a adversary or like some green
Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah, he had like some creature in the Black Lagoon looking like like villain or enemy or something.
That's good. It's just
that's a blast to the past. Stretch Armstrong.
There's an IP that needs to be ignited. Stretch Armstrong movie.
Did you ever have one of these things, like one of these electronic games that
wind up? Yes. I didn't have one, but I know exactly what that is. I have friends.
And they had one with like a car where you can like drive a car. Anyway.
Yes. And it had a little plastic steering wheel, and you move it back.
Old 80s relics from my childhood.
Yeah. That brings back some memories.
That's wild. You can see there's back there, there's right where he's putting that away, there's these 2 rabbits. Show him the rabbits fucking.
Oh yeah, this is from Key and Peele.
Oh yeah, he worked on Key and Peele.
Oh really?
He was Emmy nominated editor of Key and Peele. Check these. This is
these were the art department made these for some of the gay comedy sketches.
Right.
Is that right?
And I forget the episodes, but yeah, they were in I think 2 episodes.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, we edited our movie like illegally, I guess, when they were shooting Key and Peele there.
Oh, really? You got to use the facilities at night?
Yeah, we got to, we walked in, those guys are there, like, what are you doing?
Listen, that's the essence of Grindhouse, man. That's how you do it.
You got to
I was an assistant editor, so I had the night shift.
Right.
Yeah, but still,
I'd set my stuff up and I'd just sit for things to export and render, and and edit some little stuff. But yeah, we used their kitchen and ate all their food.
Oh, we ate so
Right,
much
right.
food.
We ate all the yeah. They had a great kitchen.
Nice. Where was it based? Where were you looking?
I'm like, thanks, Gordon. Thanks, Keegan.
Where was the office?
We were at Sunset
Gower.
Oh, Sunset Gower. Yeah.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
I was gonna say that's a great spot right there. There's a whole bunch of stuff there.
It is. How many times have you seen Suspiria, for Christ's sake?
Oh gosh, probably too many that I can remember at this point. I've seen it more than any other film I think I've ever seen. Probably.
I thought you were going to say more than any human being that's seen a movie.
Right, probably. I mean, I'm sure there are a few crazy people out there who've seen their favorite movie more times than I've seen this, but it's.
I've seen Evil Dead 2 so many times, I'm sort of sick of it.
You know, it's funny. I'll see Suspiria. It's weird. Suspiria will play, here in LA somewhere, and then it'll pop up again like shortly after it's played the first time. And occasionally I'll be like, you know what? We just saw it. I'll see it again 4 more times in the next year or two. Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't go. But then I'll end up going. And every time I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna be sick of this or I'm gonna get tired of this, I never get tired of it. I never get tired.
Let me ask you this question. I think this is a fair question. Is it even a Giallo?
I don't think it's a Giallo.
Okay.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it has Giallo-esque elements to it, but I'm of the mind. My argument is that it's not a Giallo.
It's a surreal supernatural story.
Yes.
Experimental.
Yeah, I think there's some experimental stuff going on there, but I don't feel like it. And it's funny, I get in arguments with friends about this, but I'm in the non-Giallo camp.
What is it about Giallos that get you going?
Oh my goodness. Wow. There's a lot. I love the fact that they're obviously mysteries at heart, and you're following along trying to figure out who the killer is. But then there's this whole other aspect. The music is obviously a major component of these films. So even if the film itself, you're kind of like, all right, it's moving a little slow, or maybe I've kind of figured out what's going on already. You've always got the score. You've always got the music. And the music is a major component of these films because it helps to, it gives you part of that experience of the Giallo. And then, it also depends. I mean, some of them have extremely graphic kills. Some of them don't have any kills at all. Or if they do, they're not very, they're not the forefront of the film. And I'm good either way. I love a good gory graphic kill as much as the next guy. Listen, Tenebrae has some of the best kills in a Giallo out there. And then there's some films that are a lot more muted, a lot more, they don't have as much of a high kill count or over the top kill count. And I can enjoy those just as much as well because of the atmosphere of it. It's just every time I watch a Giallo, I feel like I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm even if it's something I haven't seen before. I know that I'm going to enjoy something about this. If it's not the whole film, there'll be elements of it that I think I'll take away and go, yeah, this will be something I remember from this film.
I'm blanking out on the title. You'll know what's the one where they're on the trip and it's the killer's got red gloves.
Eyeball.
Man, dude, that for me, that's in my top 5. Man, it just not just the red gloves, but it's sort of funny, and it's a real sort of like Agatha Christie thing going on.
Oh yeah. And it's that's Umberto Lenzi, and he's
Eyeball and Autopsy. That was the double feature.
Yes.
Grindhouse 2 month.
Yep, that's right.
I might have gone both nights even.
I know I went to one of them for sure.
And Barry Primus.
Barry Primus.
Barry Primus was there. I filmed it.
Okay. Was it there both nights?
Maybe.
Because I went one night and I don't think he was there, but they showed they showed Autopsy at the Los Feliz 3, Jim Branscombe for Cinematic Void. And
Barry
comes out and he's just like, what do you guys love about this movie? What is it about these movies? I don't get it. He's like, and he would tell us great stories about being out there and working with Mimsy Farmer and working with, just that whole atmosphere and just being part of that world. But he's like, he's not necessarily a fan of the genre very much. And he would tell us, he's like, yeah, I don't get why you guys like these movies. It's just, they don't make any sense, and I don't get it. And what's going on? And there's something about that I also appreciate about Giallo, where you're right, they don't always make sense. But there's something about it that you don't care. You just go along with it.
Let me ask you this. Is Pieces a Giallo? I think it is.
I was going to say, I feel like Pieces works as a Giallo. Yes. Now look, there are going to be people who argue it's not because it doesn't cotton to the ideas that were part of the Gialli of the heyday, where it's not about like, the self-indulgence and the bourgeoisie getting their comeuppance and all this stuff, or the fact that the war's over now, everyone's trying to now splurge. That's fine. There's an argument for all that stuff, but at its basic core, I feel like Pieces of Giallo. Absolutely. Now let me ask you a question: which version do you prefer, the Pieces version or the Milagro with Mil? I forget the name of the original title, but it's a Spanish title. But there's
I don't know. I didn't even realize there were two versions.
There's two versions. I think they're both on the
Grindhouse releasing.
On the Grindhouse releasing disc, yeah. I'm almost positive they're both on the Grindhouse releasing disc.
Nice shit. All right, I'll have to check them out. Is there more gore, or what's the?
Not really. It's just.
You know what it is? It's more tennis.
Yeah. Yes. It's more tennis.
More the karate instructor, I hope.
No, I don't know. You don't want to touch any of that. That's perfect the way it is.
Okay.
He comes in, does his thing, and leaves just after everyone's going, what the fuck did we just say?
Was it Phenomena that's got fucking Donald Pleasance eating Wendy's, the salad?
No, that's Nothing Underneath.
Okay. That movie was crazy, man.
I'd never seen that before.
None of us did.
Until
what the fuck is this?
Until Phil played it, and I was like, wow. And then it was over. I ran up to him like, that was awesome. And then he told me that.
And there's a sequel?
There's a sequel, and it's on the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. I ordered it immediately. I think I ordered it at the Bev. I was like, I got on the app. I'm like, done. We're getting this immediately.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you two more questions, but we're going to play a little game here.
Okay.
Real quick. No prizes, of course.
That's all right.
But
go for the love of the game.
It's When Animals Attack edition of Choose or Die, but you don't really die. So,
right. Okay. All right.
There you go. And so it's basically a sort of Sophie's Choice scenario where you got to pick this movie over that movie, sort of a desert island scenario, or this movie is better than this movie. You got to choose. You got to pick one. You can't.
All right.
Both. Here we go. And they're all animal related. Here we go.
Okay.
So the first one is you got to choose Day of the Animals or Grizzly, and maybe even a Y if you can.
Well, I'm going to go with Day of the Animals, because you get more animals. Grizzly, you got a bear, and by the way, Grizzly
and Leslie Nielsen.
And that was good, but you get Leslie Nielsen, you get him fighting the bear, and you get more animals killing everybody. So Day of the Animals for sure, absolutely.
Great. You're gonna know this, but I couldn't think of it before. What's the fucking Australian movie with the two schmuck couple that are throwing the shit out of the car and the animals start killing them?
Oh, isn't that like Last Weekend or Lost Weekend or something?
It's something like that, man. That movie really, it's so fucking underappreciated. I think that movie's fucking amazing.
I think I rented that in Cinephile like 15 years ago, and I remember thinking this is pretty great. But I haven't seen it since, and
it's so natural, like
I remember liking it, but I'm not remembering specific elements of it. But
it just sort of just goes in waves, like they're like getting fucked with a little bit.
Yeah. And they're like,
it's like
it's like a whole environmental like cautionary tale.
Yeah, but the people are dicks, so they're
assholes
for them
like two couples, right, or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Like, or I
I
think
hate all of them.
just one couple, I think.
Oh, it's just one couple. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember hating everybody in the movie and waiting for everybody to die.
That's how it is. Okay, here we go. Ready? Prophecy or Nightwing?
Oh, that's easy. Prophecy.
Okay.
I love Prophecy.
Oh, Prophecy's the
Prophecy is so good, and that's another one I saw. That's another one I rented on VHS when I was a kid. Because so that egg, that cover art,
embryo, goddamn thing,
scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Just that visual, just that poster. You're like,
yes, the poster is that fucking egg with that, like, you know,
even the font had this like little.
The word prophecy is this weird ass like horrific font, and I would walk by that in the video store and I'd be like, oh god, no. And I finally one night like you know, fuck, let's rent it. I'm gonna face my fears, and I loved it. People shit on it. I don't know why. Maybe because it's, I don't know.
Why would they shit on it?
I don't know, but people are.
It's fucking.
Yeah, it's got a great cast.
Julia, fucking.
Yeah, Armand Asante's in it. Is it Armand?
That's what I meant. Armand
Asante. And the bear is fucking
scary.
Yeah. And then but I love Prophecy, and it's amazing that that's a Frankenheimer film. Like, I forget that that's John Frankenheimer half the time.
Yeah.
And love Prophecy, but in the choosing of the two titles, I'm not a huge fan of Nightwing.
Really?
Nightwing takes a while to get going.
I saw it at a midnight show at the Newer, and the guy that plays the dad in Monster Squad, he just came out.
Oh yeah.
Even when it mocked, he was there.
Yeah.
And the guy that played, who was also in the movie Nightwing, but he played Billy. He was the voice of Billy for Black Christmas. The guy.
Oh, okay.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
I brought my Black Christmas, so he signed it because I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Even though it is a slow burn, and I saw it at midnight, but dude, I fucking dug it, man. It was like I still think it's the best Bat movie I've ever made, which isn't saying much.
I was gonna say, I'll give you that. There's not a lot of competition.
It's got more. Prophecy's got like 70% horror and then 30% of the environmental, whereas Nightwing's got like 70% of the environmental and 30% of the horror. But there's a great sequence where they're like by the fire and the bats attack, and
yeah.
It's good moments. It's not perfect, but Arthur Hiller directed it, and it's pretty good.
I forgot about that. I think they showed Nightwing with Bev did it a while back. They did Nightwing with
bats. No.
Chosen Survivors.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that other Bat movie.
Yeah, they're underground or something.
Someone needs to make a goddamn fucking Bat movie.
Yes, Bat movie. Yeah.
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 Bats have gotten neglected. What about Food of the Gods or Night of the? Is it Lepus?
Lepus. Probably Food of the Gods. Night of Lepus is fun. It's fine, but I think Food of the Gods is a little
more animals than Food of the Gods.
What?
You got chickens.
Oh yeah, so you got everything. You got
everything.
Rats and everything.
And Marjo.
That's right. Marjo's in it. That's right.
He's an animal.
Yeah, Night of Lepus is fine, but I feel like it kind of wears off too early for me. Like, all right, it's clearly the rabbits are clearly they're the same size. They're actual rabbits. You can see the. I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of silly in a way where they're trying to make these rabbits look bigger with the forced perspective, the way they're shooting the film, and it's just the seams come through. So it's like, all right, it's fine. But Food of the Gods is that's actually a pretty good flick.
I was going to tell you, I went to the TCM Film Festival, and sometimes you're I can't see this, I got to go to this kind of thing, or you have extra time, and I definitely didn't want to. We had to get in line for Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs.
All right.
But we had a little, and so we went to them, the introduction of them, and they had Ben Burt and Craig Barron do this like sound thing, like where they recreated the sound of the
that noise.
It was amazing. It's on.
That's awesome.
You can check it out on YouTube, and then right after that, it totally unannounced, the little girl from them. Came on stage for a 20-minute interview.
Oh wow!
That little iconic face. That
yeah.
And she was so cool. And her mother shot 16 millimeter film. They shot it out in the desert with James Whitmore and James Arness and stuff.
Yeah.
My mother brought this little camera, and she showed TCM got it transferred and stuff, and they showed about 10 minutes of this silent
behind the scenes
footage of the ants, them pushing the ant puppets, and the little girl kissing the ants, and the little girl in James Whitmore's arms, and he's just like he's kissing. Dude, it was like fucking amazing.
Oh man, I never go to the TCM Fest. I don't know why, but this year I was going to try to do them, and it's too bad I didn't go, man, because that sounds like it would have been great.
And you can just go like to the single movies. Steve-O here went to Silence of the Lambs and saw Jody.
Yeah. Now with the TCM thing, you get the badge obviously, but you can do the singles. Like it's like later, like it's closer to the show, right? Each one.
That's what he did. He missed like half a Jody.
Yeah.
But
it's but you can still get into these things.
I got half off for Academy membership.
A couple or 7 or 8 years ago, we didn't get the pass, and I wanted to see Deliverance because it had John Borman, Ned Beatty, Bert, and John Voight all together. No Ronnie. Ronnie's off singing touring with his banjo, but still the four of them, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
And we barely got in, but we got in, and we sat down and we saw the full Q&A, and then I ran down and I got I was chasing after the autograph hounds because I figured they knew where they were going.
Oh, right.
And I had this Deliverance in this trash book, that Grindhouse book that I have. And that book, it's amazing.
That book you have, you still obviously you still have.
It's crazy. You can't.
That book was awesome.
It's got everybody. And,
you got everybody in that book. And by the way, you were also instrumental in getting my Faster Pussycat poster signed.
Hey, I was happy to. I'm just pissed off I didn't have one of my own. But I'm and she's dead now. They're all dead except for the one lady.
Yeah. You were the one. I got in Tura because I met her at a convention somewhere years before, but I think you got me. I think you're the one that got me Haji.
And I got in trouble a little bit, for inviting Susan Lloyd because the other ladies didn't like Susan Lloyd because she was they never hung out during the movie.
Right. But I think you got me her autograph as well.
Well, yeah,
she got me. I couldn't go to the show.
I got a fat 8x10 of her of that one part where Susan Lloyd's like running down the railroad track and the guy's chasing after. I got that 8x10 signed by Susan Lloyd, nice. So that's pretty
awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome.
But now getting back to the goddamn animals. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Here's a good one. I think I know what you'll. Who knows? Anaconda or
probably. Because Anaconda's fun, but it's one of those movies that like I look forward to revisiting every so often.
That's awesome.
Anaconda, it's like it'll play like it'll be part of like a a marathon or something. Like, oh cool, okay, Anaconda, all right, we'll watch this, great. But when it's plays, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll looking forward to seeing that again.
When's the last time they've shown that in LA?
Oh, I don't think I can't remember the last time it's played in LA. And I think Phil may have shown Anaconda or somebody may have shown Anaconda at a all-nighter or something. Or at least, maybe I'm confusing it, but I think Anaconda has played before in LA.
As long as I get to see Tix again sometime in...
Tix, yeah. Tix was wild. Tix was... Didn't he show that at was that the second to last movie at one of the all-nighters?
Yeah. It
was like 3 a.m. And
was Amy Dolan's there or no?
No, I don't think so.
She came for She's Out of Control.
Yes.
With her father.
Right.
I got a photo with Mickey Dolenz and Amy Dolenz.
Yeah. But yeah, Tix was like I think the 5th movie of the night at one of the all-nighters.
The weirdest one, I have this poster on my wall. This one night, I don't have my glasses, but I went to the 1 year the Wiltern did a marathon. It was called the Wiltern Night of Horror. You should have gone, buddy. Everyone should have gone. Everyone blew it. It was.
I vaguely remember that. It was like
they showed
like American Werewolf in London or something.
American Werewolf in London, The Cabin in the Woods, The Descent, and Demons.
Yes, I do remember this because I was considering. I'm like,
it was the same night as the New Bev one, and they even had a maze. They even had a maze.
Really?
And we went.
Where'd they do it? Out front of in the lobby area, downstairs?
The maze, literally the doors to get in. You had to get into you had to go through a maze just to get in.
Oh wow!
And can we go in but not go through the maze?
Right.
And it didn't do that great. There were a lot up front. There were a lot of VIP tables with and so I remember we saw demons just with champagne, just sitting at a nice table. It was great.
That's pretty great, and that's a big room too. I wonder how that screen looked.
Oh, dude, it was fucking amazing. That bigger than the biggest you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, it's a massive space. That's why I was thinking. Did they bring the screen in?
Insane.
Did they bring the screen in for it, or was it already a screen? Did they already?
It's already there. If there's just in 1981, they did a 3-day rock movie festival there.
Yeah.
Look it up, and they showed everything, just Monterey Pop, Woodstock, Pink Floyd and Pompeii. I mean, you're just what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was very impressive. But yeah, that was a great night, and we literally went from Demons to the new bet. We had both tickets, so we did a double. We did a double.
Right.
But this shows you the time period of when it was.
Yeah.
We went from Demons to the new Bev, and I don't know what was ending, but the next movie was the Ross Hagen baseball movie.
Oh yes.
Which I was.
That was Night Games, wasn't it?
Is that what it's called? Strike.
It's the one. It's the one with the
hot chicks,
right? Yeah, it's the one with the softball, the Fatal Beams or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't remember the exact title, but I remember that night. That's the thing.
Fatal Games is a movie Corky's in, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. He's a wide shot, but that's me. Walking across the screen.
Right.
And he, I shouldn't even, I'm not going to say that on camera. He had
Demons,
a tryst with the star.
Demons at the Wiltern, that was where I was like, ooh, that would be so much fun. We had tickets for the all-nighter, so we hadn't gone to the all-nighter, but that's why we didn't get tickets for the thing at the Wiltern. Now I don't think they've ever done anything like that since.
They haven't. It didn't do that great, but it was really fun, and they had good food, and chili cheese fries, and nachos, and I was drunk, and we went from here to there, and it was fun, man. It was fun.
That's what's great about LA, man. It's sometimes it's like you said.
I'm just gonna take it off my wall so you can see it. I got the poster framed in my office.
Let me see it.
Of the Wiltern.
Right. Let me see.
It's such a badass poster too, and this poster was free.
Oh wow!
Look at that shit.
That's really cool.
Look at the wolf.
Yeah.
On the fucking thing.
Yeah, on top of the building. Yeah.
You got the demons right here.
Right.
You got the cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And oh look, and you got the descent. You can't see it, but the ladies are
right. She's on the
down the Caribbeans or whatever the fuck they. Yeah, isn't that insane? And then it's all American Werewolf, demons.
Yeah.
Haunted house and virtual reality horror film show, scare performers, dance party.
That was 2015. Insane. That was almost 10 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
But yeah, I was so glad to go to that for sure. It was fun. But we did both.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes when they did speaking of demons, when Goblin did the live scored a picture for Demons at the Alex Theater here in Glendale, it's like a mile from our house.
Yeah.
Went to that and then booked it down to Santa Monica for the Arrow for the horror. It was the all-nighter, the horror-thon that night. So we got there maybe I think third film in or something like that.
For people that have problems like me and you, those are the things that we do. I forgot actually we not only did a double all-nighter, but we missed a little of American Werewolf in London because we were at the Linwood Dunn seeing it was celebrity home movies or something.
Oh, wow.
They had Steve McQueen's personal 16mm footage when he went to Disneyland and stuff. You got to see Steve McQueen at Disneyland being a dick to his family.
Oh God.
So we went to.
And they showed this on the 30th of October, the same night as the other two.
And it's that, and then this, and then that. It's the person that wins the ultimate prize for being the ultimate cinematic explorer going from here to there is Monty Lewis. I mean, no one will ever never beat Monty Lewis. But at one point, Grant, because I was going from here to there, Grant Moniger, he said he called me the Vasco da Gama of repertory cinema. I'm like, So it's great to know that once in my life I was doing something right.
Oh, absolutely, man. You mean, are you kidding? It was like every time, especially in October when there's all that stuff happening. I mean, it's like you were at everything. I run into you at a ton of stuff where I knew you were going to be there. Yeah,
you gotta be. I mean, it's just like especially with in LA and what was the other? I'm not sure if I only caught one of the double features, but it was the like Mexican double features like a year or two at the Academy.
Oh yeah, we saw. Yeah, we were at that. It was I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was good.
One of them had doll people.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the one.
We didn't go to that one. We went to maybe that was the one we went to, because our buddy had gone to like 2 or 3 of them, and we met up with him at one of them because we were at something else, and we were like, okay, we're gonna hit that, then we'll come meet you guys for the second movie at the Ted Mann Academy at that downstairs that Mexican fest, and he was like, yeah, dude, the one you just missed was great. And I think we tracked it down later, found it somewhere, and yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, those are
it's
good.
You always find the usual suspects. Of course, I mean, we parked, I don't know, somewhere like where the 99-cent store is or was, or I don't know if it's even there.
It's still there.
You know, and then we walked across the street, and right off the bat we bump into Murawski. Of course. And those things were like Saturdays at like 2 p.m. or some weird fucking time. Of course, Murawski's going to be there because, you know, we all love these crazy fucking movies. You know,
absolutely.
the weirder, if it's got dolls in it or violence or ninjas, giant monsters, you know,
all the great elements you need for a movie.
Exactly. All right, back to this is going to be a hard one. Ben or Rats, Night of Terror.
I mean, I feel like I have to go with Rats Night of Terror. I mean, the way that movie ends, it's like that's your winner right there. It pulls the fucking helmet off.
And this one, I'm referring to both the originals.
Okay.
This is a tough one. King Kong or Godzilla?
Oh, okay.
That's why this one's last.
Listen, this goes back to the whole Team Kong, Team Godzilla thing, and it's Godzilla.
Okay.
Godzilla. And listen, I love both of the originals of those films. Absolutely love them. But yeah, Godzilla. I could. Yeah, if I have to pick one, I'm going with Godzilla. That's where my loyalties lie.
All right. Well, you survived.
I made it.
You made it.
You win.
Woo! Yay!
You win my free editorial services on the next feature film.
Oh, that's terrific. Thank you very much. That's
very
terrific. Appreciate it.
What advice do you have for people wanting to get into film?
Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. I mean, I know a lot of people will, you know, they don't get their first spec, you know, sold, or if they can't get their first movie off the ground, or if they can't do whatever it is they want to do in the industry, if they can't get that job, it doesn't matter. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. Just keep trying to continue to move forward. Maybe the thing you want to do now is the thing you're ultimately going to do later, because for whatever reason, you don't know that yet. Just keep fighting, just keep plugging away, and just keep watching movies. You know, I know so many people we know that want to be in film and they don't watch movies. They just, I don't know what they're doing, you know, and I'm not saying that you have to do your whole life is watch movies, but you know, if you want to be a screenwriter, listen, don't go to film school for it. Just don't. You know what? You could find 100 movie scripts online right now. You find the 5 movies you love the most. Go find those scripts. Read the scripts. That's how you can understand why you like the movie right there in the script, and learn how to create that movie on your own.
Would you say bypass film school altogether?
Look, I mean, when I went to film school, it was probably a different. It's probably different than it is now. I mean, I don't. Honestly, I probably would say I don't know if you need film school to make a film, because I learned more when I moved out here and I got into development, and I was a development exec for 10 years, 8 years, 10 years. I learned more about screenwriting, reading scripts and talking to people, about why they wanted to make the script, or why our company would be interested in making that script. And look, a lot of time was commercial. It was like, or I remember being at one company where I would get scripts and it'd be like, okay, read this script, and the coverage I would give them would be less important in my explaining why the movie works or doesn't work. That was like the third or fourth thing that was most important. But the biggest element that would make them attracted to the project was, well, it's got $5 million attached to a $20 million budget, or it's got so and so attached to it who wants to be in it, or is going to attach to be produce it, whatever. And I'm not saying that should be the apparatus for why a movie gets made, but when you're reading so many scripts and learning the nuances of writing a screenplay, I feel like that is so much more valuable than going to class. And film theory is interesting, film theory is exciting, and film theory is important, but I feel like you kind of do that sort of thing on your own when you're watching these films, and when you're going to places like the Bev or wherever, where you're inhaling all of this stuff in the way we do, or the way we have, or the way we. And if you're really that interested in it and really that driven by it, you will, of your own accord, find the books or the videos or whatever that help you learn more about these things. And look, if you have a good group of people around you who are also interested in these things, they're always a fun way to debate and learn more about the meaning of these things, and or why one works better than another, or why a movie is better than another, or why you like a movie and why you don't like it. You can't be like, oh, I didn't like it. Why didn't you like it? Yeah, it sucked. That doesn't count. It's, why didn't you like the movie? Tell me why you didn't like the movie. Explain to me what you thought of the film. And I feel like you get that from just talking about these movies with other people who love these movies as much as you do. Learning the development world and kind of looking at scripts from that approach, that taught me a lot too. And I know you can't, not everybody go get a development job and learn that way, but for me personally, I learned more reading scripts, and learning how to develop notes, and learning, which was also helpful for myself, because look, when you're writing your own thing, you're too close to it, and sometimes stuff you think works, someone who hasn't read it before will go, oh yeah, no, this doesn't work, and here's why. And it's the flip side. I can give detailed notes on someone else's script, but when I'm writing my own, it's like, I don't, I think this works, I think that works, but not always the case. But being in development for as long as I was, that was definitely helpful in helping me learn how to write scripts that were, I guess it was just honing my abilities better than just going to a class to do it.
Sweet. Last question, buddy. What is your dream movie to make?
Oh man, I probably would love. I probably would love to do an actual Godzilla movie. I would just be, if I could do a Godzilla movie, like a full-on Godzilla film.
What would you bring to the Godzilla movie, to your Godzilla movie that we haven't seen before?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean,
there might be somebody out there willing to take a chance on you and find.
This is
starts on a different planet in a different solar system.
But they've done that too.
I got to ask you, did you like Furiosa? I fucking loved it. Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. I saw an earlier screening of it in February.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And I was not. I was kind of like,
See, that's why you don't go to your early screenings. I saw
Here's
early
the thing.
screening Patriot
Here's
Games.
the thing. I now when I read the reviews and I know friends who saw it who kind of said, "Oh, was this?" It was, from what it sounds like, 99.9% the same movie. I mean, the movie, we saw it in February. It opened May, 3 months. There wasn't a lot of time to make much in the way of changes between the two. Between February.
What about effects? Were all the effects put in?
Well, that was the thing. Most of the effects were. It looked like the entire thing was done. I mean, they were. It was all there. Maybe it wasn't perfectly color timed, or maybe it needed a few adjustments, but it was finished. It was a finished film. I felt like there was a lot. Everything I loved about Fury Road, because I remember seeing a test screening of that, and I was like, "Holy shit! Where do you see this?"
Yeah.
Everybody. And this one, I was like, it just felt. It's too episodic. It's too much going on all around. It was like, I guess I wasn't as compelled by it as I was with Fury Road. And I thought she was great. I didn't have any problem with her. I like the little girl who plays her, the younger version of her, is fantastic.
I love the guy that was like her mentor. That guy was awesome.
Oh, the Stacy Keach looking dude?
Yes, you said exactly, dude.
Yeah.
That guy needs to be in a Road Games remake.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But and look, Hemsworth was fine. I just didn't love what they were having him do. I wasn't into his thing so much.
Did they have the chapters there?
Yes.
Okay.
They had the chapters. And
you were just underwhelmed by it.
I think I was underwhelmed by it, and that's not like I went in with major, huge, high expectations. I was just like, all right, it's Miller. It's going to give us. It's another Mad Max movie. It's going to be great. Yeah. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Beyond Thunderdome, but there are moments about it, things about it that I can appreciate. Like, but this, I was like,
You know what? I got to go back to Beyond Thunderdome. I think Beyond Thunderdome is a very underappreciated movie, and I think this movie is also is underappreciated for the same reason, is that the whole movie's not a whole fucking chase,
right? Yeah,
for a change. So that's what I dig about. I actually love Mad Max 3, that he goes and these children find him, and the whole fucking like Master Blaster thing, and the one man enter, one man leave. I fucking love it, and that's what I dug about Furiosa, is that it wasn't fucking Fury Road.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I get that.
So it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But it definitely, we saw some stuff in this movie that we haven't seen in the past, and
I think it's also, for me, with prequels, you kind of know where
it's tough. Yeah,
going.
Prequels are tough. Yeah.
And I kind of like, I wish there was some sort of disconnect where, like,
what's the best prequel ever made? Temple of Doom.
I need to revisit Temple of Doom, because for a long time, for me, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and then Temple of Doom. And then when the pandemic hit, the drive-in Tiki was showing old movies, or they were showing older films, classic films.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Dude, they're showing Raiders and Last Crusade at the Tiki." So we went, and it was our first time at the Tiki. And I'm watching Last Crusade. Again, I've always loved it almost as much as the first one. And I'm sitting there going, I don't remember it being this silly. I don't remember it being this goofy. I remember it being, I don't know, it was just, there was something about it where I was, maybe it was obviously something in me that had changed, where I was like.
I got to interject and just say that one thing that's odd about it is that the character of Marcus from Raiders of the Lost Ark is very out of character in Last Crusade, and it's almost like this, he's gone from like head of like the fucking prestigious college to a total fucking buffoon. Yes,
and that's a perfect example of it, because I'm sitting there going, I remember it had some levity to it, but I don't remember it being this, it's almost bordering on screwball at times, and so I'm watching it going, I don't remember, I'm not like, this is weird, there's something in me that's changed, or I'm seeing something differently now, or I didn't enjoy it as much as I normally do. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, maybe I need to go back and revisit Temple of Doom now. Maybe I might appreciate and enjoy that a lot more than I used to.
My favorite part of Okay.
I was going to say, I think over time we edit stuff. We edit our memories sometimes when there's sequels, and we think different scenes and we blend it and we make like different versions in our own consciousness sometimes.
Yeah,
I do that all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know it's real anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that may be what it was, or maybe you see these movies, so long ago that you kind of you kind of remember them in a way where it's like, oh yeah, I've always loved that movie, and then you watch it again with a different critical eye, and you kind of go, oh, maybe my taste for this has changed a little bit. Or listen, Raiders is still one of the best movies.
Oh, it's the best.
There are not a lot of 5-star films out there for me, but that's definitely one.
In terms of revisiting stuff, just for shits and giggles, the other day I decided two movies actually. I decided to revisit Dude, Where's My Car, which I had seen probably, and it played way better now than it did back then. There's these actually like moments of like and then all this crazy, and then the other one that I watched because I went to Old Tucson recently, and there was actually a prop from Stay Tuned with John Ritter.
Oh my God, yeah.
Watch that again. And it's a lot of Stay Tuned's a lot of fucking fun. And it's got Eugene Levy's crazy in it.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty wacky.
I had that movie on Laserdisc.
And it's fucking directed by fucking
isn't it Joe Flaherty or something?
No, it's directed by the guy that did 2010.
Peter Hyams.
Yeah, he wrote. I mean, he and you know that motherfucker. He shot it too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because he shoots all his own stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's crazy. That guy's crazy. But it was that guy's a really good director because his films are just always fucking entertaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're completely fucking different. You could be like, who directed? I have no idea. The Relic, right? He did the fucking Relic.
Oh, that was the Relic. I love the Relic. I love the Relic.
Were you there at the Relic when years ago when Penelope Ann Miller came in?
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I love that movie. I will always defend the Relic. A lot of people are like, oh,
awesome.
No, Relic has a great creature.
Great creature.
The Dianoga or Bioga or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
That thing's badass. And then the movie itself is fucking great.
It delivers, man. It delivers. And
I love that movie. Whenever that plays in town, I'm like, yeah, we're going to that. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't play often.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, hey, man, it's been so awesome talking to you about movies.
Man,
I wish I could be in LA to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me on. I had the best time. It's great talking to you guys both. This was absolute pleasure.
For sure, buddy. For sure. Yeah, I'll be out in LA in a couple of weeks. Won't be able to do much, but then I'll be back out in July for Midsummer Scream, which Barbara Steele's going to be there. She might do a little Q&A, maybe. I'm hoping.
Wait a minute, she's going to be at Midsummer Scream in July?
Yes, 100% confirmed. They're going to do a Megan panel and a Black Phone panel. And then, what's really great about it, because last year was my first time going to Midsummer Scream, is that they tell you everything that's going to go on for Halloween and stuff. And it's just like, but even beyond that, like the first day they had, Tom Holland, just Q&A.
Yeah.
Talking about his life. You know what I mean? So it's a good mixture. Oh, and they had the Lost Boys where they had Jason Patrick. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you get a good mixture of the shit going on in October, and then combined with like some cool movies. And I'm not into like Monster High, but if I was a little girl into Monster High, like the entire cast is going to be.
No, that's Midsummer Scream is usually. I don't usually do Monster Palooza, but I often do Midsummer Scream of the two.
I couldn't believe how packed it was. The line to get in was
it gets really crowded. Monster Palooza also gets nuts. That's also part of why I don't go for both of them.
I know. And the mazes were really cool. They had a Twilight Zone maze, and it was like in black and white.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
With the what do you call it?
They had a few mazes. There was a Trick or Treat maze or a Halloween 3 maze or something.
Wow.
A couple of years ago, like on the side, it was like this like area where they had all these different little mazes and little scare zones and stuff like that. And it was just it's so much fun.
You guys got to go to. I know you go during the day. You got to go to Not Scary Farm. I implore you.
I know.
If I got free tickets, I'd fucking give them to you. I might even have fucking discount passes.
I'm going this year finally. The last like 20 years I didn't go.
Amber's been before many years ago. I've never been. And every year we're going to do.
Last year was off the chain. The one maze which was called Cinema Slasher.
Oh, that's awesome.
and you literally walk into the movie theater. There's the guy taking the ticket, and then you walk through the lobby, and the popcorn was spilled and cockroaches and blood, and then you walk into a movie theater, and there's like dead bodies in the seats and stuff, and then you walk through the screen, and then you're in that movie. And then you come out of the screen, and then you walk into another movie theater, and some guys are like, "Shut the fuck up!" Get up and go. And then and it was a triple feature, but also like sort of the wraparound was the cinema. It was so
wild.
Awesome.
That's great.
So that's Cinema Slasher will be back this year, and there's 2 new mazes that are gonna be this year, and it's and also but the best way to do it is get the buffet, the buffet dinner. Yep. And then you get in a half hour early before everybody else. You don't, and you could basically knock out half those mazes. Yeah. And then and this year they're adding which is ridiculous, but in addition to the buffet, they're adding because they used to have this in the 70s and 80s a midnight to 3 in the morning breakfast buffet separately.
Really? They're doing it. They're doing the midnight to 3 a.m. thing.
Yeah, they're doing that. Remember, they with the monsters. So it's like, oh my god. And then also. Bonus is the Queen Mary's back this year. Dark Harbor's back this year.
Right, I heard they were bringing that back this year.
So it's like, oh my god, I'm already plotting out. And last year we did the Rest in Peace, Halloween Horror Nights Rest in Peace, and I basically, because I just went to that power trip, that 3-day metal festival with made. I think I got COVID there. I wasn't sure. I still don't know. But all I know is that I literally went to HHN Rest in Peace like a zombie, man. I might as well been on 20 hits of acid. I was just like,
oh man.
It added
we do HHN most of the time. It's weird. Some years are more enticing than others.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we're like, I don't know, the maze is kind of like, all right, whatever this year, or there'll be a maze where we're like, oh my god, they're doing,
last year they where the Waterworld area, what they did the Purge show.
Yeah, the Purge.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I heard that was great.
And the other one last year that was great was the monsters from Latin America, Monstros.
Yes.
It was fucking.
I heard that was great too, because the year before.
Oh, it was amazing.
The year before they did the Wolfman versus Frankenstein thing, and that was awesome. That was really great.
Every Universal Monster maze, they always do one. The Universal Monster maze is usually in the top 2.
Always.
But last year, I forgot what it was. Last year they had Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Hunchback. The Hunchback was great. They had the Hunchback was like stretching this dude, and his body was ripping apart. And
that's great.
And Dr. Jekyll technically counts as Universal Monster because they did a silent, with him and stuff. And
okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
With, John Barrymore, I think. And the other maze that was amazing, it was the Chucky maze was amazing because they had like 30 or 40 like animatronic like Chucky's and his girlfriend and his son, and it was fucking amazing. It was amazing. So God knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, last year I heard it was pretty solid. But I think we're waiting to see what the announcements are for this year, and then we'll start figuring. We always start planning October like in July.
I know. Well, it starts with Midsummer Scream. You just starts with Midsummer Scream, then you can plan. And the one thing I did last year for the first time, which I highly recommend, that was really good, was Delusion.
What's that? I don't think I know that.
I think it's like produced by Neil Patrick Harris or something like that. It's been going for like 16, 17 years, and it's always in a different place. But we got a shitty group, like the people that were in our group, like were really talky and annoying. But the effects and stuff, you sort of go on like this tour of this old timey house, and this one part was so amazing. There was like there was a fireplace like that was on fire, and this creature came out of the fire, and he was like and he was like all embers, and like he was on fire. I don't know how else to. It was like a fire monster came out of the fire and started chasing us, and then we went to this attic, and this like fucking giant. That's why you like it, because you like giant. Monsters. This giant spider monster just started going like, bah, 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 like started fucking heading towards us. We're like, fuck, like,
wow.
It's like 3 people in the costume or something.
Wow, that sounds great.
You got to do that on a THC edible.
Yeah, it's just called Delusion, And
Okay. Yeah.
You can get VIP or regular. We just got regular. You just show up at this random house and just sit down on a chair. And
Oh,
then
wait a minute.
is that something?
You know what? I think I had two friends who did this like 2 years ago. It was like somewhere in the valley. Some like old house in the valley.
It changes.
Okay, I think we had a couple friends do this. They were like, yeah, it was wild, and I don't think it was like it wasn't there. It was like a brief period of time. It was only for like a couple of weeks or something like that, and then it was gone.
Yeah, it's very competitive to get in there. You're just like, next group, next, and they do great. It's just some fucking crazy rich guy that's like, and then every year it's just different. I think last year was like a greatest hits of the different monsters, but
of all the different scares and everything.
Yeah, it was just $60. I was impressed. I like going to the like this.
That's pretty good.
Have you ever been to that? Like one of the things I want to go to this year is Castle Dark. Have you heard of that?
I've not been to that. That sounds familiar, but I haven't been.
It's like some like miniature golf course / like little theme park in Riverside called Castle Park, but around Halloween they turn it to Castle Dark and have 4 or 5 mazes. We've never gone, but we're definitely going to go this year. And at Midsummer Scream they're doing a Castle Park panel.
Oh, like a panel?
Yeah.
So
we just want to do everything that we have.
Absolutely.
You know, last year we did Magic Mountain, but we've done Magic Mountain 2 years in a row.
Oh, we did Magic Mountain last year. We did the Fright Fest.
Okay, there you go. It's fun.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Saw and the
I like that. We did the I'm not a huge Saw fan, but that Saw maze was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
They did a really great job with that.
The Conjuring had the little samurai guy.
Conjuring, the Conjuring, that was a good one too. And then there was another one that was it was an original thing.
Co-ed house party or something of the dead or
oh my god, the haunted fraternity party or whatever it was.
That was pretty good too. And the other mazes are good.
That one was great.
And then I whatever the ones on the top of the Ninja's my favorite ride. So like whatever's on the top of there, and then we gotta go.
Yeah. Right. Oh no, that the Halloween horror fraternity thing was so good. It was funny. It was clever. We went through it twice. It was a blast.
Oh, you got to do them twice for sure. And it's genius that Magic Mountain does that screen break. You know. We tried. Amber and I tried to go to that, and we couldn't fit it in with our schedule. But we wanted to try to do it, and we're like, it just wasn't going to work out. But we definitely want to do Fright Fest again this year. They do a good job there with that. They do a really good job. I like the way it's set up too, and the way it's laid out. Where like there's a lot of space. And everything's well done there. And the scare zones are good too, and the rides and all the drinks and stuff. I like it. It's awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to see a lot of each other at Halloween for sure. And
we're absolutely going to see each other in October.
Be out of control. Great. I'm definitely going to be able to, if I get a ticket, be able to go to the New Beverly all nighter this year. Or do you think that's the last week is the Arrow a week before Halloween?
The Arrow is always the last Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, the Arrow is always the last Saturday of the month.
Okay.
Whether it's the 26th, 25th, 29th, 31st, whatever it is, it's always the final Saturday of October.
Is the New Beverly the Saturday before that? Sometimes
that's moved a few times. Okay. It's moved a few times.
I'm trying to plan my trip so I could see both of them, but there might be a fucking 3-week gap. You know.
I mean, there was that one time where they both went the same weekend, but they couldn't avoid it because the Arrow had, I think, like what's his name, Leo Vitale. Some weekend that was the weekend after where the Bev was doing theirs, so the Arrow Horrorthon had to do theirs the same night.
I can't believe
because they couldn't move the series.
I can't believe they had it the same night. That's insane.
They had the same night, and everyone was like, "Which one are you going to go to?" Huh?
Where did you go? The New Bev?
Wait, what, Jess?
Did you go to the
We went to the Bev.
Yeah.
We did the Bev, and we had what? Yeah, we did the Bev, and then a few friends of ours did the Arrow. So we were kind of, because we knew what the Arrow was playing, but we'd already bought tickets to the Bev, and we were going to do the Bev anyway. So then we thought we'd swing by to the Arrow afterwards, but by the time we got out, we were like, we're just going to go home. Yeah. And by the way, congratulations, you guys, on the win for that.
Thank you.
For the award. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it.
And eventually it'll be
like I said,
it'll be 7 episodes eventually.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it works as a full length documentary, but I feel like it's more of an impact in an episodic fashion. But either way, the presentation is top notch from start to finish. It's absolutely terrific.
A lot of information to consume in one sitting for sure.
Hey, we appreciate you had our poster up before anybody else did, buddy. So we appreciate it.
I still have it. I'm moving everything around, but I still have it right there.
Eventually, we'll have updated new versions, with the updated names, and
we'll have Masters of the Grind Chrome version. No, I'm just
oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, color time it for black and white. Perfect.
All the original posters are.
Maybe Furiosa is going to be in black and white, so maybe you'll like it better when it's now in black and white.
Oh yeah, I'll try the black and.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Have you seen, how did you like?
Right. Well, listen, Godzilla -1 kicked ass in black. So.
Oh, I didn't get to see it.
Was that
in color? It was. I saw it in color. It was great.
Oh, you're talking about Godzilla? The -1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, -1 in black and white was great. It was really great. It was almost you kind of got more into the human side of it to the point where Godzilla was almost interrupting. It was kind of in a weird way. Like every time Godzilla showed up, we were like, and I'd seen the movie a whole bunch of times by then anyway, so it wasn't like I was, but it was, the gravitas of the human element is even stronger in the black and white version. And then when Godzilla shows up, you're like, holy fucking shit.
I loved it, man.
They did a great job. And they color timed it. It wasn't just like they turned the color out. It was like every frame, every scene was just, beautifully timed to so that it looked unique. It was really an amazing job with that movie.
I love it. It should have been nominated for Best Picture.
I agree.
It was.
I agree. But hey, finally won an Oscar.
Finally,
for
it deserved it though. I mean, for me, I'm not as much of an expert of the genre. For me, Godzilla -1 is my favorite Godzilla of all time because of that human element. Outside of Mothra, because I like the little dancing girls, but
the twins.
Yeah. But I was blown away, and so bummed I didn't get.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, it was. I was obviously unlike Furiosa, when I was walking into that, my hopes and expectations, and excitement was through the roof. So I was, as sometimes you go to a movie, it doesn't quite meet your expectations. You go, oh, my hopes were too high. Maybe I got to see it again. But no, they nailed it the first time I saw it.
Since it's fresh in your brain, what did you think of In a Violent Nature?
Loved it.
Awesome.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Okay.
It's the closest we're getting to another Friday the 13th movie. So
and
enjoy it.
It's all POV. Is it the whole thing POV?
It's POV in that you're following
like in a Maniac Elijah Wood hardcore Henry kind of way, or
no, it's not that. No, God, no, I couldn't do that. No.
Okay, good.
You're staying with the killer as he's wandering around doing stuff and things, and you only see it's basically take every Friday the 13th slasher, The Burning, any woods slasher movie in the woods, and it's flipped. It's flipped to the other side. You're only seeing everything the killer does. And then when he encounters somebody, he kills them, and then he wanders off and goes back in the woods, and you follow him in the woods some more, doing some other. And I fucking loved it. I was absolutely the aspect ratio didn't even bother me either. It's not. It's like 1:66 or something.
Did they shoot it on film?
No, they shot it on it's digital.
Did you see it at AMC?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I'm seeing it tomorrow at AMC at like 12:15.
Yeah, they didn't mask anything. It's just the screen's black on both sides, but as usual. But no, we saw it at the AMC. It was we went to the early access screening, so everyone was there to see the movie. They weren't just wandering in to see a movie and be on their phone. People were there to see the movie.
Good.
And awesome. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And again, it's a very at first you're kind of going, I don't know if this is going to work, and then for me at least, it fucking nailed it.
Oh, awesome!
I loved it.
I'm excited. Thank God, it's not just some bullshit. Sweet. Well, thank you so much.
No, Yeah, man, thank you so much. Great talking to you, Stevie, and obviously Jason. Thank you so much for inviting me on, and I had an absolute blast. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you when you're back in LA again. Thanks much, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great one.
You too. You too.
Good talking to you. See you later.
Hey everybody, I just want to share some exciting news. Masters of the Grind, our Grindhouse documentary, has received the Best Documentary Award for the IFS LA Film Fest. June 16th at 8 p.m., that's a Sunday, Father's Day, we'll be world premiering Masters of the Grind at the Regal Live 14 in downtown Los Angeles. Buy your tickets now at ifsfilm.com. That's ifsfilm.com. Masters of the Grind. Be there or be square.